Hi everybody! It's a Friday night. It's a good night to craft a little bit. I'm Bev Hill with Bev Hill Arts and Crafts. And I'm going to share a little crafty pattern with you in about 3 minutes. Whoops, just bumped my trimmer. I'm going to go over here to my laptop. Give me 1 second. Here I am. All right. Well, welcome, welcome. Hi, Debbie. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a good evening. As good as can be. So, if you've bought this kit, you'll have all the pieces if you want to craft along with us, and you don't have the kit. I don't have a piece I need. I need a paper punch. So I'm going to grab that because we've got just a couple minutes, and you'll want 3 sheets of paper of the cardstock 12 by 12, and then you can always decorate it later or decorate along with me. But I need my hole punch, so give me just a second so I can grab my crocodile. It was just a little bit out of reach. So you want a hole punch or a crocodile, and you can watch along and then get your tools, and it'll be recorded and stay here for a while. Well, hello, Deb. You have a great weekend too. Wow, that's good, Debbie. 3 layouts is a big deal. That's a lot. Now, I bet it feels good to get back out a little bit of it if you haven't done any for a while. All right, I'm going to clear some of this off so we have a little room to work. Aren't these cute? That's the top where you can tuck in candy bars or gift cards, or I bought some stuff at the Dollar Tree to fill these for my grandkids. A couple of spider rings and different things like that. Hi, Dawn. All right, so I will need this. I'll go ahead and bring that out of the case. Okay, I don't have a document for you to download, so you just have to kind of make notes of the dimensions as we go along. We're going to make a mama bear, papa bear, and a baby bear size. Hi, Julie. All right, so one of them we don't have to cut at all. We're going to use a piece that is 12 by 12. And then we'll be scoring all 3 of these, but we'll do that next. We're going to do our cuts first. Okay, so this one we're going to keep 12 by 12. The next one we're going to cut to 10 1/2 by 10 1/2. All right, and then the last one, the smallest one, we're going to cut to 9 by 9. Okay, so now I'm going to, you can always save scraps. They aren't, lots of times if I'm working on a project, I'll use the same base color paper for a little accent, but these probably don't need it. Now it's time to get out our scoreboards, and I'll start with our little one because he's here in front of me. And I have a preferred bone folder. I've got 2 of them here. This one has a sharper edge to it, so I have to be careful. It's the original Martha Stewart that came with this. That's how old it is. It's a Martha Stewart. But I just have to be careful that I don't cut paper because this one can do that. So because it's 9 by 9, we're going to score at 3. And then another 3 inches, so at the 6 mark. We're going to turn this paper a 1/4 turn. And we're going to do it again going the opposite direction. So 3 again. And the 6. So we made like a big tic-tac-toe board here, okay? So we're going to do our scoring and then we'll do our other pieces. So here's the 10 1/2 by 10 1/2. Now I have to talk myself through this one because I've messed it up before. So we're going to go 3 1/2 inches, so at 3 1/2, and then another 3 1/2 inches. So 1, 2, 3 1/2. So that would be at 7. And that leaves us a half. 1, 2, 3. So they're all 3 1/2. I don't know if you have to talk yourself through math like that, but I do. All right, 3 1/2 again. 1, 2, 3.5. So at the 7, and we've got our medium size. And then the largest, pull out your 12 by 12. And these are every 4 inches. So at the 4 mark and at our 8 mark, turn it again. Do the same exact thing. 4 and 8. Now, a friend of mine gave me this pattern years ago, and I don't know where she got it from. I'm going to keep my bone folder, but not my scoreboard. So I wish I could give credit to the original source, but I don't have it. Hello, Chris. Happy Friday. Okay, so this is our largest one, and we're going to do the same thing to all 3. So I'm going to meet corner to corner, so I'm almost cutting it like a triangle. I'm folding it like a triangle. And this first point, I'm folding to that first scored intersection there. So all I've done is fold it to that first intersection of the score and the score. Make sense? You see it there in camera? You could fold it all the way across. You would just have a fold here in the middle that you would be covering with paper. So it's completely up to you. All right, so I'm going to go back to that corner. And I'm going to come back and do the same thing on this opposite corner, right where it intersects, and then fold it to the corner. And I didn't get that folded straight. So let me come back. May just be a little imperfect. Okay. And so while I have this here folded, I'm going to go right to that intersection of those 2 scored lines and give it a nice crease. So right at that intersection, give it a nice crease. We're going to do the same thing in the opposite direction. So I'm going to come bring my corner back up. Okay. Press down, find that first triangle that we're making, right? That very first triangle. I'll go to my opposite end. I'm making a triangle right there. See how we just folded it right down the middle. So you could, if you wanted to, take it to the corner. Maybe we'll do that on the next one. And just fold it in diagonals. And so this piece will have a fold that you don't need, but it won't hurt anything. So if that's easier to do until you get comfortable making these, do it. All right, so now I'm going to fold all of my scored lines so that it all moves nicely. And then we're going to have some more work to do, but when we put this together, we're going to take that scored on the triangles and fold in. Each one of those corners are going to fold in. Okay, come on. This one really is kind of crooked. There we go. See, I'm just folding that corner inward. And then we'll have a little ring to kind of tie it all together with a hole punch. There we go. So all those little corners have been folded inward. I don't have big enough hands. Let's bring it that way. Okay, can you see it there now? It's all folding inward. And this will come together later, but I wanted you to see what we just did. So we're going to do that on the other 2 pieces, and we'll come back and finish it up. Okay, so that's the first one. Let's do it again. Let's just make it easy. Get your corner lined up, crisscross. Opposite corners. Crisscross. So that when we fold all of our scored lines, I'm just going around the box, folding it up. All right, so now those diagonals that we just made, we're going to pinch inward. Okay, and pinch inward. Pinch inward. And last guy. Pinch inward. So there's our 4 on that one. Okay, and we want to decorate it before we do our hole punching and put the rings in. So just, we're getting these assembled. All right, I'm going to go a little slow on this one. If you have any questions about what I'm doing, give me a holler here on chat. So I'm matching up that corner, pinching down in the middle, back and forth. And then opposite corner, doing the same thing. And now, so that it all moves, I'm just folding those scored lines that we just made. Okay, so to make it into a box, we're going to fold those diagonal pieces that we just folded inward. We're just pushing in that triangle crease into the middle. Okay, and they're not going to stand up pretty yet. We need to hole punch them and put the rings in. But again, it's easier to decorate first, and then we'll put it together. So for this one, and you got to think about front and back, and right now it doesn't matter because this can fold the opposite direction. But these were 3 by 3 squares. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You don't necessarily have to do your bottom ones because they'll get covered with tissue paper, but you can too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need 8 3 by 3 decorator pieces. Okay? So any papers will do for this little guy. It looks like I used that pretty plaid. So if you've got the paper and want to play along, grab that one. Because it's a smaller of the two, I'm going to use a smaller of the two prints. So I think what I'm going to go with is this little orange dots, because I think that looks fun. So I'm going to reduce my measurements by 1/4 inch. So I'm going to cut all of these to 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And we're going to do that again. You can get fancy and alternate your prints. I'm going to go real basic tonight just to show you how we get it decorated and assembled. So I've just taken 1/4 inch off of that 3 by 3 square, and I'm cutting these to 2 3/4. Hello, Tanya. So I've got these in small, medium, and large size. All right, so let's get a feel for this. So we're going to put these in the squares. We'll glue those down. Look at it, it's already looking cute. And then in these, with the folds, we have to cut these on a diagonal. And I think I will get fancy and use the opposite side. So I'm just going to put it in my trimmer and get that corner to the edge of the blade and this corner to the edge of the blade. So I can split it in half diagonally. So I can glue those right to my corner pieces that have been folded. So I'm going to do that for 4 pieces. And I also make sure I grab the same 2 so that print is going to match up when I glue it down. You can see how I'm just, make sure I'm in the camera there, laying my point into the blade. And then I make sure these 2 stay together because they're going to match up. All right. So now it's just time to glue some of these down. I will tell you too, it's going to get really narrow up in these top points, and we're going to be putting a hole there. So I would get as close to the edges as you can getting your glue so that paper piece doesn't start to peel up when we start doing other things to it. So as close to completely covered in your glue that you can would be good. Just get those secured on those points. They're such a great versatile pattern, aren't they? I wish I knew the origin of this. I mean, I remember the gal who taught us, but she never said where she got it. But she brought it back from someplace. I know she probably got tired of every time I saw her telling her thank you for the pattern. And I've gone and done searches for this online. I cannot find the origin. You can do these for Christmas, for back to school. Yep, Dawn, you said for your teachers. You can do them for any holiday, baby shower. It doesn't take a lot of decorator paper, so you can use up your scraps for something really cute. You can double layer these, right? Like I could have cut this in an orange and then cut the prints another 1/4 inch smaller and put that on top. You can get as fancy as you want to get. I'm going to get my diagonals down first so I don't lose track of how these guys line up. Okay. Oops. Guess I got to hold on to my paper. Because I'll have 6 of these, I now need to fill these with some goodies and give them away. And my grandkids, they can't have one size bigger than the other. So Carson and Adeline are my daughter's children, so they'll get one of the sizes. And then Walter, who's my son's son, he won't be around at the same time and he'll get a different size. So it's all going to work out for me. This is that Fabrifix glue, and if it oozes out, I'm able to just rub it away until it's gone. So I am happy to pass along this pattern that was so freely given to me. And I hope you have fun making yours. I'm off camera, but I'm just putting some glue on this triangle. And I'm trying to get glue on every corner, every point. All right, it's easier to do the little squares. Who likes candy corn? I think it's one of those things you either do or you don't. I will tell you that growing up, I don't think I liked candy corn. But as an adult grandma, I have a new like for candy corn. My grandson Carson loves candy corn. Okay. Now we are going to decorate both sides so that you can see some print on the inside, but you don't have to. I mean, if you're going to make a lot of these, by the time you fill it with goodies, your solid cardstock would be enough, especially if you threw some tissue paper in there. Totally up to you. If you're trying to stretch your paper, you could just decorate the outside. That would be just fine. All right, first side done. So that hasn't taken that long, right? Yeah. Do you have to watch Sugar Dabby? I know it's one of those things, once I start, I don't stop very well. Okay, I certainly don't want to use the same paper inside and outside. So I'm going to pick another sheet. And I've got this cute little set of bats, so I think I'll do those. So remember we're doing 2 3/4. If I can cut straight. Cotton candy. I haven't had cotton candy in a long time. And another thing you can do is just do your inside squares and not the corners. And that would be just fine also. So give yourself some flexibility. No crafting rules, just want tos. And I would maybe pile these papers up and make the cut all at one time. So look, I still have half a sheet and half a sheet. So you could, it only takes 1 sheet of printed paper for this 9 by 9. Now it's going to take more for the bigger ones. So I'm going to still cut these individually because it's slippery paper and I'm afraid one would get cut crooked. I'm going to use my flower side. So I've got some variety of print. You're going to want to keep these guys together, however they were cut together. So, because if we accidentally mess this up, those don't line up very well. So it's nicer if you can line up that cut. I guess I just did the wrong one. You can line up that cut, right? All right, so there's that one, and here's this one. All right, let's move them out of the way, and I'll do the next 2. And we'll do some gluing again. And then I can show you how we put these together. One more. Okay. So we're just going to flip-flop. I'm not going to do the bottoms, but you certainly can. All right, so these go together because that's how I cut that apart. So they're going to go right there. I will tell you, this is you're probably crafting along with what you have. I've got a few gals who bought these kits. Thank you very much. I do still have 3 of these kits ready to go. I could ship them right out if you wanted to get some ready for Halloween. But this Miss Kate paper, that's the line that this came from. And I think she prints her own paper. I think she designs and prints. It's very nice, heavy cardstock. The quality is good. But this has acetone in it, so you want to be careful on the amount of glue because it will, if you lay another print on top of it, I've had it peel the ink away from that design. So you'd be better off using an art glitter glue, which mine is clogged at the moment, so that's why I'm not using it. Just personal experience. It's just something about that acetone in this glue and what it does to the ink on this paper line. There's nothing wrong with the paper line. It's a lovely quality, and I love, variety in options. Okay. Options are good. I actually need to turn a little bit of air on in my craft room. It's right in that middle weather, right? Put a sweater on, take it off, put a sweater on, take it off. In Nebraska, it's going to cool down and feel like fall for us for the next couple days. I'm just trying to get glue in every corner, all the tips. Don't glue over that score. It's not going to fold nicely. So make sure you protect that fold that we did. Okay. And like if I got glue on top of here and tried to rub it off, it would take that ink off of there. It's just the ink and probably the local printer. And the fact that this glue has acetone in it. So I was going to paint my nails today and I thought, why? Why bother? I'm just going to be messing with glue and I'll rub it all right off. Just the hazards of being a crafter, right? Okay. Now, if this were the outside, you need to think about the direction because this is going to face up, right? So we want our cats to be facing up. Now, I don't know if this will be the outside or this side. This one direction doesn't matter. But if you have a piece of paper, be thinking about your box, right? That it's going to be folded up and you want your cats to be upright. And I guess even on the inside, you don't want them to be upside down. So if you've got directional paper, you can be thoughtful or many times I glue things upside down. Live and learn, right? Sorry, I just had a drink of my bubble water. Time to glue. Okay, cat's going in the direction the box will go. These corners don't matter as much. So you can be a little laxer, if that's a word. Just get them down. But it's the tips here when we go to fold that and hole punch it. And the cap's back to the right direction. All right. So now you can get a feel. This is how it will look decorated. And I'll see if I can lift it up so you can kind of see on the sides. So this would be our outside if we went this way with the bats and flowers. Or you can take it for a test drive this way. And you want these on the inside and your dots. Can you see there? You got your dots and your candy corns. So it's whatever you like, and I think it's cute both ways. So this was my last fold, so that's how I'm going to leave it. So here comes the paper punch. This fold, I'm going to get a circle as close to the tip as I can without punching so narrow that it would risk tearing that paper. Okay, and the only thing that I really let's see if I can get it in an angle where you can see it. You see it, look in the camera now. See if I can. You can kind of see it. See if I can turn it a little bit more. All right, see that hole? You see what I mean? But you don't want to get too close to an edge up there. And you want that paper to be as tight. See, that one's peeling up, so I might not. Do the same thing on all four. And I need something. I think it's a design flaw. I wish Crop-A-Dow could fix this design. The little papers need to fall out so you can see the hole again. There we go. All right, so here's the next one. As close to the top without risking that it would be too narrow. Okay, and do it again. The paper's not coming out. And I'm going to punch blind. There we go. And one more. If you don't have these chrome rings at home, you didn't get a kit, You can just thread ribbon through it as well. I've done that before. I don't remember which way I was going to go. All right, so now I need to find my chrome ring. You can use larger ones. This is what I had available, and they work just fine. So when it's smaller like this, I'll do 2 of my corners on one side of the hinge and 2 on the other side. So right now I'm going to fold it in, come inside, fold it in, come on the inside, and now I'm going to take the opposite side of this ring and come through these 2 on that side. Okay, and then I need to fasten it. Is that one through there? Yeah. Sometimes these are kind of a booger to get fastened. There we go. So now we've just connected it all together. Any questions about what we just did there? And it doesn't hurt. See that crisscross I was talking about? Nobody's going to notice that. You can cover it with paper if you want. But I think it's a little easier to do it that way. There we go. My corner hadn't punched all the way in. There we go. Now this is what I like to do. You can tuck your paper in. So this is how I did it. I folded it all kind of like a rectangle. Tucked it in. Fold it up, came back through my other opening, maybe. Fingers aren't quite long enough. There we go. I just kind of fed it through, and then I pulled up on these sides too. And this is such a big piece, you could probably cut them in half and do multiple. But this, they can see a little tissue on all the little compartments. And that's where you would tuck your goodies. So cute. All right, we also have some adorable tags and twine. So I'm gonna cut my ribbon first. And this one, I used this, I think a couple of kits had the solid ribbon, and then I had to use this kind for the last one, which it was just fine, and it was long enough for the small guy that I could fold it in half and get 2 pieces, so it's kind of like a double ribbon, because you know, if some's good, more is better. So I just went underneath that ring, came up to the top of the ring and tied. I'm going to tie a bow, and then I'll trim those little hangers. And this, because I was able to double it up, I can pull those out. And I should have some scissors. Pardon me while I grab scissors. I have 100 pair. They're just not right here. Okay. So where that loop was, where I folded it in half, I'm just going to cut that at an angle. And those look pretty good, actually. So now we need a cute little tag to hang on the top there. So we've got twine. So I'm going to poke my little hole out there. I've got a piece about 1 yard, folding it in half, and that loop is what I'm going to feed through that hole. So I'm going to come from the front, feed that loop of twine through there, hold on to that loop on the other side, pull in my tails, loop it through, and pull. So that's my little tag holder. Now I'm going to tie this to the same thing underneath my ribbon. So I'm going to thread one through. This could be interesting. There we go. And then you can hang it as loose or as tight as you want based on your gift giving. And I like more bows, so I'm just going to tie another bow. Even it all up. And that's ready for candy. So that's how you make these little tree carriers. So that took about a half hour. I think we could do, I probably won't do both, but we could do another one together. Why don't we do that? So let me find, here's the medium size. Remember, whatever your measurement is, so here's our 12 by 12. These are 4. So you're going to reduce it to 3 3/4. So if you can hang with me and want to watch a little bit more crafting, I'll do one more box. That way you can, but you can rewind and rewatch this over and over too. So that's totally up to you. But I think I'll do a quick one more. So this one was 3 1/2. So we're going to cut these to 3 1/4, which means it's going to eat up a little bit more paper. Okay. So I can use, I can't get enough out of these. But you could use scraps, it would be just fine. So I've got this cute little boo. So 3 1/4. I need 8 of these. All right, that was 6. I just need 2 more. And we'll just decorate the outside this time. Save us a little time, but we'll get to see it decorated. Oh, one other thing. You can use a circle punch, which I did. See on this guy, I took the same paper and did a circle punch. I popped it up with some foam tape and then used my stickers. See how that just adds a little bit more pizzazz? So that was a circle punch, a 2-inch. That was on a bigger one. And I did not have a smaller circle punch, so I just cut 1 1/2-inch squares, popped it up, and then put little stickers on those. And because when you set it down, you don't see real well, I would normally want to center it, but I geared these toward the top of the squares, so you were more apt to see them when they were standing. Right on, Dawn. If you make some, post pictures. I'd love to see them. All right, so I need 4 of these that are diagonally cut and 4 that are square. So I'm going to be brave and see if I can do all 4. So I'm going to hold them together, point to point, hold down tight. Ha, waka. All right, you just slid off out of order. They're sticking. Oh, come on. Okay, so let's glue those down. Triangles first, see if I can match them up like a jigsaw puzzle. And do you see what I mean now about trying to get glue to your points when you're folding them in and going to do that hole punch? It just keeps things a little cleaner. Yay, that one's my match. And what if they didn't match? Would there be anything wrong with that? No. Don't glue over your fold line, or it won't fold. Speaking from experience. I do love this Miss Kate paper because you get so much in the collection. You get 20 sheets of paper, a sticker sheet, and then they call that the cover page, the one that says the name of the collection. The back side of that is also a print. So it's actually 20 and a half sheets. Let's see. Yep. Okay. I thought this was such a fun Halloween line. I wanted to play with it since it came out. And I just buy way too much Halloween paper. Good thing I've got some grandkids now. Halloween and Christmas. And a quadruple. I buy maybe 10 times. I probably have enough Christmas in stock to do me the next 10 years. But do I stop? Nope. Do not. Does anybody have I'm thinking about Halloween and trick-or-treating. Yeah, you're right, Julie. Because when it's cut up, it's beautiful too. When you start to put these in pieces, right? Make something with it. The beauty still comes through even though it's been cut. All right, back to good old days trick-or-treating. Some of you may not be old enough to remember, but we would trick-or-treat and get homemade candy apples, caramel apples, homemade. Okay, remember, we've got to go the direction of the way the box is going to fold up. Homemade popcorn balls. And I tried to make popcorn balls with my grandkids, and I didn't think it worked, but then after a bit, it did set up. So I'm not sure if I did it wrong or I just didn't wait long enough. This was with the corn syrup, and it talked about having to let it get to the exact temperature. And I had a Kennedy thermometer. I think I went and bought one for these grandkids. But I don't have much practice in making homemade, like candy with the corn syrup and sugar that you got to get to a certain temp. We used to make it like it was nothing. Anything that you do regularly gets to be easy. And now it's foreign. All right, this one's all decorated. It would probably be wise if you were doing on your own, if you did a couple, set it aside and let it dry before we start pushing things in and making our hole punches. Probably would be wiser. Get that glue nice and set up. Okay, that guy's wanting to peel off. All right, so I'm going to start doing my hole punches. You're just going to see it on the black. One. Two. And if you can get them as close to the same edge, as deep into the triangle on all four of the punches, it helps your ring not go in a little cockeyed. Again, will the world end? No. But I've done that where it was a little cattywampus. Just making sure my pieces are pretty dry. Get my chrome ring. All right, got it open. All right, so I'm gonna thread this one through first. Come to this one. That's on that half, where this big, you know, lump is, where that ring connects to each other. So on the other half, I'm gonna go to this side and this side, and then connect it. So now we've got our next treat carrier. So this one, medium, I think I used the sparkly, because I thought, isn't that something? It's the perfect hue to that purple in there, right? So go underneath your ring, come back up, tie your pretty bow. And I don't think there's enough to double it up, but if you have it and want to cut it in half and try, certainly can. But I think the sparkle also adds pretty good amount of bling there. But you just got to see the assembly twice. And you've got your twine and another tag. So let's do that again. Let's see, do I want that one? I think I'll use this. I'll go to Adeline from Grandma. Oh, and Grandpa, although it's from Grandma. I think this one needs to be cut to go for the other one. So yep, it's about a yard each. So I'm going to fold it in half. I've got my loop here. This loop is what I'm going to thread through that hole from the front. Okay. All right, there we go. And I'm going to hold that open from the back and take my two tails, loop them through. Now I can come up under my ribbon, thread it through there. Can I get it to go through? Where are you? There you are. And then again, you can let it hang as far down or as high and tight as you want it to, based on where you tie it. Right? Cute, cute, cute. All right, so it's very flexible. Tuck in your tissue paper again, and tissue paper is not a necessity. It just helps it look a little, you know, zhuzhed up. Any ribbon you want. You can use old curling ribbon with Christmas if you're going to do Christmas theme. Just a really cute way. You know, I've put baked goods in here, cookies. All right, I think that's it, you guys. Here's what we did tonight. Don't forget, you can dress them up with circle punches or little square cutouts. Pop them up with your foam tape or dots, and then throw your stickers on. And then, most important, throw the goodies in there. Thank you, Julie. I freely pass on to you guys because it was freely given to me. So, happy crafting. All right, have a great rest of your evenings or daytimes if you're watching on replay. If you have any questions, if I went too fast anywhere, just message me. Happy to help. All right, talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.